Throughout history, leaders have always had official residences. Places like the Kremlin, Buckingham Palace, and the White House have not only been a place to live, but also served as symbols and a place to see to some of the business of the office. And while everyone's heard of the White House, not many people know about the residence of the Chief of Staff of the United States Air Force. Tucked away on a quiet street on Fort Myer in Virginia lies what is formerly known as Quarter 7, but is more commonly known as the Air House. Built in 1909 for a cost of just over $16,000, the Air Force took control of the building in June of 1960, when the 4th Chief of Staff, General Thomas White, and his wife Connie became the first Air Force family to live there. Since then, every Chief of Staff's family has resided in Air House, making it a home through their own sense of decor and family. However, Air House is not just a place to live. It also serves as a symbol of the U.S. Air Force to everyone who visits. And it also is a place where the Chief of Staff does the overwhelming amount of his official entertaining. From heads of state to members of partner militaries to even just everyday airmen, Air House plays host to thousands of guests every year. And that's where Senior Master Sergeant Alonzo Watson, Master Sergeant Michael Leo, and Staff Sergeant Brittany White come into the picture. They're the enlisted aides who handle not only all of the day-to-day upkeep of Air House, but also handle all of the preparation for the entertaining. In many ways, they are Air House.
We have to go to household management school, which just teaches you the basics of how to run a household, how to manage the workers or the different property elements to the home, working with the contacts that you need as far as like housing maintenance or the historian, for instance, for this house. We also go to advanced culinary school, which is located in Fort Lee, Virginia. Everyone is required to go there. We go to protocol school. We're able to go to protocol school and Culinary Institute of America.
When you deal with the kind of people who drop by for dinner at Air House, there's a lot to keep you on your toes.
Every case is challenging, especially when you talk about different countries, and but just over time you become very aware of the surrounding and aware of what's going to be expected once certain people walk through the door. Like from just cultural things, like some countries just simply as simple as I don't want any ice in my water. Just understanding those things.
Obviously, the Chief of Staff is a very busy person, which means more often than not, things get busy for the aides as well.
We had a counterpart dinner on a Tuesday night, which a dinner to that effect goes to about 11:30 at night by the time we pack up and leave. Then we had a congressional breakfast the next morning at 7 o'clock. And then, which we had to be here about 4:30 in the morning. And then we had a team luncheon the next day. So it was a 3-day period where we probably saw over 150 people. And that was very challenging. Three of us probably ran on 4 or 5 hours of sleep through that 3-day period.
Aside from all the cooking and entertaining, Air House is a building that's over 100 years old. In fact, it's been named a National Historic Landmark. And as anyone who lives in an old house will tell you, they tend to take on a life of their own.
It's the maintenance is the most difficult part. Our ventilation system alone is 50, 60 years old, and it takes up half of the basement, and it's a floor, and it's constantly has problems. We get leaks.
A day I will never forget is the day of a dinner party. We get here at 6. The boss was leaving at 6:45, and when I showed up to work, the whole basement was flooded. You have to act like everything's okay and calm and deal with the situation and make it so he doesn't have to worry about the basement flooding.
Being an aide to the Chief of Staff involves a lot of work, but it does make for some interesting experiences as well.
There's one morning that the security guys came to pick him up, and he was still asleep. And so everybody's kind of looking at each other like, who's gonna go get him? And I'm like, well, I guess this is my area. So I went up there and he was kind of sleeping, and I kind of tapped him on the foot. I'm like, hey, sir, it's time to get up. And so, he kind of bounced up. So I say that because how I see it is I woke the Air Force up that day. Although we never sleep, but I woke the Air Force up.
Air House and the people within it. Not just a building or a house or a staff, but something that symbolizes the Air Force and also serves as one of the most important things to any family: a home.